نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة صدق الله العظيم. Respected ulama, scholars, the management committee of the masjid, and my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, and my beloved honeys, young kids, everybody is welcomed, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So it is an honor for me to be present here in this highly blessed ceremony, or the sitting, or the mahfil of the celebrations of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's birth. And it is not only an event or occasion which is good for me, the source of happiness for me, the source of blessing for me. It is equally the source of blessings for the entire humanity. And this is what we have heard from our respected scholars. And for this purpose, we are all gathered here in this masjid with our family members. And this is a tradition that our entire ummah has been pursuing since the times of the birth of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a tradition. This is a culture that the entire ummah has been pursuing over the centuries. The forms may change, but the content and the event remained the same over the centuries. And this is the biggest argument for the legitimacy and the permissibility of the celebrations of Milad Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to continue the debate where we are right now, my dear brothers, the question is not, to me if you ask, the question is not today in the contemporary world, where Google's search can tell you all the arguments that our previous scholars, right from the times of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam until today, that what are the arguments for the celebration of the Miladun Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We all know, and this is a very established fact, that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's character is exemplary, is model, is priceless, is spotless. But the question for you and me to think that how to convince the external world that we are the followers of this Prophet. The question is not what is written in this book or that book. The question is to convince outsiders, to convince the real business world, the political world, the global world, the economic world, that you are the follower of a spotless and priceless Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. the second important aspect to think, and I think this is the right place to think and to review ourselves. The question is not about yourself, my dear friends. The question is not about me. My parents, your parents have equally nurtured us in the environment of the love of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The question is, my honeys and my beautiful kids here, when they would grow up and when they have to face the challenges outside this American and the Western society, when they would turn up and show up in Harvard, in Yale, in Berkeley, and the professor would be raising questions on Islam, the onslaught and the blasphemous and highly contested questions on Islam. Have we really prepared our next generation to face that challenge? And very, very unfortunately, our first generation has spent their entire life to stabilize economically, to make our future better. But, my dear friends, we all know the price has to be paid by our youngsters, because their belief, their character has paid the price. Why? Because when they needed the time and the training and the proper education of Islam, we were working on the stores. We were trying to see the things and to just stay and survive in this highly challenging world. Isn't that a reality? Yes, I need your answer. Are you with me? I need your answer. What do you think? Isn't that the biggest challenge that I'm talking about? That's the biggest challenge. So I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry that we should not consume this kind of the content, which is just rhetoric, which is just confine you within the premises of the mosque, which makes you simply theological, which does not make you, which does not force you to engage with the external world. And my dear friends, I tell you, this is something that is for our self-consumption. We may befool ourselves, but I think a critical mind, these youngsters would come on your grave and say, these are our elders, and they have invested on the wrong things. They have made mosques, they have made madaris, but we were not given the opportunity to learn and to taste the real beauty of Islam. Well, we do not know. For example, I tell you, how many of us have bought a simple biography of the Prophet ﷺ and had the courage and enough time to tell the stories of the Prophet ﷺ to our kids? Rarely any. Rarely any. And our culture is such a toxic, and forgive me for these harsh words, is such a toxic that we keep our sisters away from the teachings of Islam, in the sense that we shy to bring our sisters to the mosque. And for this reason, we the men, who I don't know why they think that they are the runners of the family. Our sisters are the runners of their family. They take care of our future. And we have very less investment on our sisters and our kids. So my dear friends, we need to think about it. And with this thing, I'm starting my conversation with you. And do not think that I'm making here a speech, a traditional speech. No, just to take a few lessons from here, and it will be really, really a duty of mine. I really think that I owe you this, because I'm a thinking mind. I think from the perspective of my kids. I don't think about you. I know you're safe. You may be in the Jannah, I know. But my kids, they face harshest challenges of the day. So we need to think about them. We need to make good, well-informed investment on our kids. So I think we should also keep an eye on this thing. We should always bring our kids to the mosque. Even they make noise, don't worry about it. They would learn things. Unconsciously, you know that Sigmund Freud and all the psychoanalysts and psychologists, they have maintained this thing, that kids learn things even if they unconsciously, they are learning and observing things. They would come to know that at least this is a place where we are supposed to be coming every day. This is a place where we come and worship Allah Almighty 5 times a day. Yes, they may be making noise, making fun, don't worry about it. Tolerate that. If you tolerate that, if you make a space for them, tomorrow you would see you have a brighter future and your next generations. Do you agree with me or not? So thank you very much for this attention. Now let's move on. What is the agenda of the today? I start my conversation here. Look, there is a theological method. We all know. Let me tell you something from the life of the Prophet ﷺ, which is not purely theological, but that would help you engage with the external world, with the social world, and would let the world know that you are the follower of this priceless, this spotless character of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. The story is very well known, and I'm just trying to recall that because you know it. If you read any small pamphlet on the biography and the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, there's a very famous event known by the name of Hilful Fudul. Do you know? Okay, I just help you to recall. I know you know. Hilful Fudul. Now what is that treaty all about? The treaty is when Prophet was in his early 20s. Right? So an event happens. And what is that event? You all know that the house of Allah Almighty, the Ka'batullah, it was the center for Arabs for the respect and the worship. People used to come from all across the Arabian Peninsula and the world to pay tribute to worship Allah Almighty, right? So a person from Yemen. And do you know what the Yemen was? The Yemen was under the control of the Roman Empire of that time, right? So a young person comes from the Yemen in Mecca, and in order to fund his traveling and the stuff, because he came all the way, he sold something to the chief of a tribe known by the name of As ibn Wa'il. He sold him, and As ibn Wa'il makes a promise that he would return the payment when he will get back. When he will go, so he will return that payment. Right now he doesn't have. So the agreement is reached. When the pilgrimage is over, that Yemeni guy comes to As ibn Wa'il and asks for money. As ibn Wa'il says, come tomorrow. The next day he turns up. The same answer he receives. Then the next day. Can you imagine? What do we do with our partners? What do we do with our brothers? As ibn Wa'il is doing. You say that you are the follower of this prophet, but observe and compare yourself, your activities and habits that we happen to do with our brothers and sisters in Islam. Isn't that unfortunate? As ibn Wa'il says, you come next day. So he recognizes that since As ibn Wa'il is big, I can't get my money back.